Hey folks, Jim Fortin here, mindauthority.com, and in this video we're going to talk about language patterns. You know, you may or you may not already know that I'm a master hypnotist. I talk about that a lot throughout my videos and my programs. And as a hypnotist, I don't do actually hypnotherapy or clinical hypnosis anymore. But as a hypnotist, we use language patterns to plant suggestions to get people to do what they tell us they want to do. Okay, so there are many language patterns, and I'm going to give you many language patterns free here on YouTube, on the mindauthority.com site, on the mindauthority.com blog, on the Mind Authority Network, and other places that I'm putting videos out. So there are many patterns that I teach people, but I'm gonna share with you my top 5. In this video, I'm going to share one of my top 5. Okay, before I do that, I want you to think back to a time in your past, okay? I want you to think back to a time in your past when you said, for example, you weren't going to do something. Maybe you were going to go on a diet and you said, you know, I am not going to have any more cake. So you say that on Sunday, okay? And then by Wednesday, you know, Wednesday's rolling around, maybe Thursday you go to dinner with, you know, some friends or whomever, and this big tasty piece of cake comes out and the server puts it on the table. What happens the more that you look at that piece of cake? What happens? The more that you, if you're like most people, the more that you look at that cake, the more that you want it. Okay, that's what we call compounding, and that's actually a function of the brain. The more that we think about doing something or not doing something, the more that we think that thought. Now, as a hypnotist, what I would do, let me give you an example how I used this contextually. As a hypnotist, what I wanted people to do was go into hypnosis and relax. So very early in the hypnosis session, I would say, the more that you listen to the sound of my voice, which I already knew they were going to do that, right? The more that you listen to the sound of my voice, the more relaxed you will become. Well, what I wanted them to do was become relaxed. So here's the equation. Okay, the frame is this. The more that you blank, the more that you will blank. The more that you listen to the sound of my voice, which is one part of the equation, one part of the link, the more relaxed you will become. I tied A to B. So it's called an association. So how can you use this in business? Give you a couple of examples that I use, and then we'll talk about some examples that you can use. One of the examples that I use when I'm speaking to live audiences or even doing videos, I'll say the more that you learn my techniques, or the more that you learn about my techniques, the more you're going to want to go to my full program, Zero Effort Selling. Or I'll say something like, you know, the more that you use these techniques, the more business you will close. Or the more that you take notes in a live presentation, the more that you take notes, the more information you will retain. The more that you listen to me and use what I share, the more money you will make. So notice, the more that you blank, the more that you blank. How can you use this? Okay, if someone says to you, I've got to think about it. First, that's a smoke screen, that's not real, but for the sake of demonstration here, let's say that they say to you, I've got to think about it. This is what you can say. Great, I understand. The more that you think about it, the more that you'll realize that we really are the best fit for you. So what you're doing is you're tying what they're doing, you're linking what they're doing to what you want them to think. They could say, you know, I've got to talk to my wife about it. Great, I understand that. The more that you talk to your wife about it, the more that you'll realize that we really are the best fit for you. The more that you talk to your husband about it, the more that you'll realize that we really are what you have been looking for. Let's say, for example, and I work with real estate agents all across the U.S. Let's say that they say after a listing presentation, you know, we really like what we hear, but we've got to talk to other agents. What you could say is this: great, I understand that. The more agents that you talk to, the more that you'll realize that we really are a great fit for you. Okay, that's the technique. The more that you blank, the more that you blank. The more that you use this technique, the more business you will close. Also, you might or might not already know this. You might have heard me say it before. When you use the language patterns and the language techniques, use them in your own language, your own body language, your own breathing, your own vernacular, your own tone. When you do that and you have unconscious rapport, people will never even notice the language pattern. Okay, take it out, use it, go out and close more business with it. Remember, like on all of my videos, go below and leave a comment and your thoughts about this particular video, and maybe even how you've used the pattern to close more business. Okay, Jim Fortin, mindauthority.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you over on one of the other videos. Bye-bye.